Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 25th of October. So looking at the euro dollar and, weak old day yesterday. Do what he could. He couldn't stop it falling yesterday, old Draghi. So he's left us with the state that incoming data indicates more protracted weakness and prominent downside risk. Inflation pressures remain muted. There you go. That was it. That was a summary of his speech yesterday, and probably not a massive surprise to see a bit of a sell-off there. So where does that take us? Well, at the moment we've got a confirmed lower high in the 4 hours. It does look weak, but he says there's always a but, isn't there? We do have the daily pivot above us, and it may want to get back towards that. Now, even when he was speaking yesterday, at one stage we saw the sort of surge up there. Perhaps these markets are really just trying to do the dollar in. There certainly appears dollar weakness on the underlying picture of things, even though we've seen the euro come off over the last few days. I'm watching this carefully. This morning, really, a break of the trend line that will be running across these lows. May see further downside in the euro. It may be quite muted. There is some data out at 9 o'clock. The only data today is German IFO Business climate. That is it for today, and maybe worth waiting for that to appear out there. Although it's not a big mover, it pretty sums up how things may be seen in Germany at the moment. So, and as the biggest economy of the European community, it may be worth waiting for. But as I said, we have got that daily pivot. If it runs into that that news, maybe on the news, it may be a sell point. We'll see. The pound. I have a lack of absolute certainty of some of these markets in some respects today. They are lower high again through the on the 4 hourly picture on the pound here. It's not too far off its daily pivot. It may want to picture back into that and maybe even run through it a little bit. If the euro starts pushing towards it, we may see the pound running into its 60.50. So just need to wait for that. Again, there's a trend line across the absolute pitch low yesterday upwards. We need to watch that. A break of that may see further weakness back to yesterday's lows, maybe back to the S1 there. So not expecting lots and lots of cheer here, i.e. much of a break above that 50. Let's just see what happens. It might not even come back towards this daily pivot here. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen is sitting there, just not really doing too much at all. Very consolidated in its move. In fact, it's put hasn't put a high low in really of yet. Not far off doing so, but it has in this shorter time frame, but not the bigger time frames. They're quite messy at the moment. It doesn't look great at all. It doesn't give me much in the way. I mean, what I'm looking at here at the moment, I would suggest further upside may be on the cards there. But again, if you see a break of the trends that are running across here, maybe set for more safety sort of thoughts on the yen. If it breaks through to 60.50 and the 200, then maybe that would be more of a signal for the downside. But at the moment, upside prevailing maybe. Aussie dollar. So the Aussie's finding a bit of support off it. It's finally got down to its weekly pivot yesterday. Finding a bit of support then on that weekly pivot as we look at it at the moment. Again, lower highs in there, softening from the bigger picture here, but it's caught its daily pivot there as well. So, this is interesting this morning. Just to watch this, it may have more of a push through. This depends on its reaction to its pivot. It looks like there was some divergence around that pivot, marginal. Maybe certainly was a bit of RSI divergence kicking across as it ran into that weekly pivot. Maybe it's got a bit more bounce to be had here. It seemed to be outperforming at one point, but or holding on better than the others, but well, we'll see. It does look like at the moment like it's hanging around this area. I wouldn't want to short straight into this level. It's already tested the 34 to 50s before. It could push on through though, so yeah, maybe worth waiting. Finally, the Canadian dollar. It's just really not the greatest of that mornings in the view what I'm looking at the moment. The Canadian dollar, I don't want to see a picture. I'm not entitled to the Canadian dollar all of a sudden. That's interesting. Well, okay, let's have a look at something else and then come back to the Canadian dollar. Let's fall it. No, it's not going to give me the Canadian dollar, which may be because Rain has hacked my system and not wanted me to give you any sort of update on the Canadian dollar. So I won't. On that basis, I do not care about the Canadian dollar this morning, but I'm going to take a sneaky look at something like the Euro Canadian dollar and see if it gives me. See, that gives me that. So the Canadian dollar against the euro has been strengthening, and well, consolidated at this phase here. Maybe it's done better than most, the Canadian dollar, and maybe it's got further downside, but again I'll be looking at the break of these lows here to show that. Now remember, this is the Euro CAD, but the US dollar CAD won't differ too greatly. Right, that's it for me. I wish you a great day. News wise today, just 9 o'clock, we've got the German IFO Business Climate, and that's it. So I wish you a great day, great weekend, and I'll speak to you on Monday. Bye for now.